Hi everyone, it's Kayla here from Writing From Nowhere, and today I want to address the question, what is it like making passive income from YouTube as a beginner? And I cannot answer this question because I am still a total beginner on YouTube myself, but I know the perfect person, Marina from Yes to Tech, which is a super friendly beginner level tech blog and YouTube channel. Marina's gonna answer those questions like, how do you know YouTube's working whenever you're brand new and you aren't making money yet? Was it like publishing that first video whenever you're totally afraid and don't know if you're doing anything correctly? And what do you need to go from a brand new creator who's never made a video before to a monetized channel, which is now making Marina, well, you'll see how much she's making. I'll let her tell it in the video. Welcome, Marina. Why don't you introduce everybody and tell us a little bit about you and your brand?
Of course. Thank you so much, Kayla, for having me on. So my name is Marina and I'm the founder of Yes to Tech, where I help non-techie entrepreneurs navigate the tech side of online business with ease. So basically the whole idea behind Yes to Tech, and many people are surprised to hear about this, is that I'm not a tech person at all. Like my background is in marketing and in finance, and I actually just ended up in this tech world out of necessity because a few years ago I was working at my dad's travel agency. And one of the first projects that I decided to tackle was to revamp his website and create a blog because everything was super outdated. But the thing is, I called the company that was doing all of that, and they were like, oh, in order to change the website, you'll have to email us or do feed the content. And I was like, no, this isn't ideal. I want to take matters into my own hands. But the thing is, as I mentioned, I had no prior experience in any of this. So I just started Googling and learning and literally trialing and erring and just doing it. And at the end, I was able to create the website and blog and all the social media posts and all of that. And that's when I was like, oh, if I, as like a small business owner and non-techie person, am having such a hard time doing this, there are probably so many other people out there going through the same thing. And that's when Yes to Tech came into being, just to help non-techie people, as a non-techie person, learn all about tech.
Oh my gosh, that is so relatable because I think most people watching are beginners in the, maybe not the online space, but in the passive income space. And we live by Google and YouTube and tutorials and people who are so generous to explain things to us so clearly and for beginners like your channel does. And that's really what we're talking about today, is about making passive income from YouTube, kind of pulling back the veil and talking to someone so approachable. I think that that's what really resonates with the most with me about your channel, is that you don't make us feel confused. You don't make anyone feel stupid or like we need to like read up on terms before we watch your videos. You explain it to beginners for beginners, and that is what resonates with everyone, I think.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words. And I feel like that's exactly the type of community that I want to foster on my channel. It's like we're all here, we're all learning, we're all taking these steps in order to create an online business, even if we don't have prior experience on how to do any of this. Because all of us can become online business owners, all of us have to start from somewhere. And so if we have these tutorials that literally just take us by the hand and show us step by step what we need to do, it makes life so much easier.
It really does. And why don't you show us? Do you want to screen share and show us your channel, Yes to Tech? And everybody should take this moment to go subscribe to Yes to Tech. There's so much help on there.
So yeah, I actually create 2 new videos every single week. And each month I usually divide my videos in terms of topics. So as you can see here, we have a number of Wix tutorials. Then if you go back, you have some webinar tutorials, making money online. Then you have some more Wix tutorials, Canva tutorials, and all of that. If you go over to the playlists, everything is sorted out for you, and all of those different playlists for anything you might learn or when you think you may want to learn about online business. So my whole strategy behind my channel, which is different probably from different creators, is that people are like, you need to niche down. You need to talk about one particular thing, and that's what you're going to be known for. And I was like, no, I want my channel not to be known for something, but I want it to be basically an encyclopedia on online business. So if you have any issues, if you want to create your social media graphics, if you want to create your website, if you want to make money online, you'll have the resources there for you.
I love that, an encyclopedia. And you really touched on something that's a piece of advice that everybody hears over and over again, but I think that it's not always the best advice for everybody. I think that you are clearly a success story, that it was the right move to become the encyclopedia. And the first time I saw one of your videos, I saw that you had something on Wix, and I was watching a little bit of it because I was working on my own website and it's not Wix, but I thought, oh, it's disappointing that she's not talking about WordPress because I can't get help. And then I went to your channel and I realized, wait, there's so much help. I don't have to, I'm not like left out, and your brand really includes like all online entrepreneurs, I think, which was it feels like such an angle in itself to become that kind of like ultimate beginner resource.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And I feel like that's so interesting because, as you mentioned, I feel like everyone is talking about niching down. And even so with the website, you said you use WordPress. And I feel like I had a WordPress when I started out, but I was spending so much time actually creating the website and figuring out where things went that I wasn't spending enough time creating the content. And I was like, as a beginner, someone who sometimes doesn't even know programming or HTML or how to edit things around, WordPress can be a bit too much. So I was like, what can I teach people and what can I use to help someone who's just starting out, where everything is really clear, really easy? And that's where Wix came into place. Maybe it's not the best or most functional website creation platform out there, especially compared to WordPress, but for someone who is literally a beginner, it's the best choice.
And you were a beginner in the whole online business space. Were you also a beginner with video, or did you have a video background?
I was a beginner, complete beginner with video as well. I actually started out as a blogger. So if you just go to Yes to Tech, you'll see that I actually just had blog posts with no videos connected to anything. And it wasn't until around July 2019 when I was like, okay, I want to branch out, try something new, and start a YouTube channel. And it was just a huge game changer for my business. Because when you're blogging and you're just starting out, you don't have an audience, you don't have people to go there, and your site doesn't have the authority to rank highly in search. So I was literally spending hours and hours upon end blogging with no one really coming over to my blog. It wasn't until I started YouTube, when I actually created videos that are highly searchable, that I actually started getting found online, and everything skyrocketed. Not only my YouTube channel, but then I was getting more views on my blog. I was getting more people to the affiliate links I was sharing. I got more online course sales. So just from starting a YouTube channel and learning everything, as I was mentioning earlier, through trial and error, because I didn't know anything, and you just have to test things out. To even go back to the very beginning of my channel, I was so scared of showing my face that it were literally only screen recordings. And that's what I tell everyone. If you're just scared, just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to do things that certain way forever. And as you learn more and gain more confidence, you can change things up.
That's such good advice. And I think that everybody has that fear, whether it's literally showing your face on video or it's showing your face in photos of you on the blog or even on Instagram, or just really showing up as yourself, and all those emotions of like kind of embarrassment and maybe even this like shame of, who am I to think that I can say something new about this topic? You know, people have so many curiosities about creating, but they're all unvalidated because no one's told them that's a good idea. People need to hear this, and pushing past all of those in the beginning. And did you have any negative emotions like that whenever you were starting on YouTube? Did you feel embarrassed? Or I know you said you were nervous, but was there anything else that you kind of had to overcome besides the technical learning curve?
Oh, absolutely. I was like, who am I? I am no expert to be talking about any of this. Like, I'm just a regular human being chilling out, just learning these things as I go. But one thing that I quickly noticed was that as long as you're just one step ahead, you're already going to help someone else. So I was just like, the more you do as well, the more confidence you gain. So I was like, I'm just going to post this out there, see how it goes. And if it doesn't work out, what will happen? Like, what's the worst that can happen? No one will watch your videos. And if you don't want to be on YouTube anymore, just delete everything. But if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't try, you'll just never know. It's like, okay, even if this video reaches one person, but that's one additional person out there that you're helping. So even if you don't have thousands, hundreds, or millions of views on a video, just think about that one person out there that you're helping.
That's such good perspective. And I think that, I guess what I'm hearing is that the draw to like explain and provide and teach, that is at the real ethos of your channel, was to help other people. And I think that that's probably at the best of all content marketing. I know YouTube has a lot of entertainers as well, people who just vlog or make comedies or anything, but I think that there's still a lot of space in that educational. It's not maxed out. I think everybody always thinks that they're too late, but I think that there's still a lot of questions to be answered. And I guess in the online world, you're never done answering questions anyway, because Google's going to update again, Wix will update, and then it's time to help people once again. It's the never-ending story, but maybe in a good way.
Agree. So true, because I feel like there are some videos that I literally created at least 2, 3, 4 videos on exactly the same topic, since things are changing, things are updating. So you'll never be late to the game, and no one can provide the same perspective as you can. All of us out there are unique, and all of us can come with different baggage and have different experiences that we can share. Like, I'm a non-techie person talking about tech, and you can get another non-techie person talking about tech, and that person can explain things completely differently. Or there's a tech person explaining about tech. So there's so much out there, so many different ideas that can be shared, that the space is limitless.
That's such a good reminder for everybody, no matter what point of their content that they're at, because I think we all hit kind of stumbling blocks as we go, and you wonder, is it working? Is it going well? Is it good enough? And I guess I'd love to hear your opinion on what are those signs of success. If somebody watches this video and they've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel and you've inspired them to go for it, how do you know it's going well? How do you know it's working?
That's such a great question. I feel like is when you see like behind the scenes of your YouTube channel, you just take a look at your analytics and things are growing, not only in terms of subscribers, but sometimes in terms of views, or sometimes your videos are being picked up by search. Because in my channel, for instance, if you take a look at the most recently videos that I publish, they usually don't perform all that well in the first 24, 48 hours, even the first week, or sometimes even in the first month. Because I'm not creating content that has this virality concept behind of it. I'm actually very specific on creating content that is evergreen, that if you're watching it today, it'll be relevant, but it'll also be relevant in months and years to come. So usually when I take a look behind the scenes, I'm always like, oh, this video has like 50 views. Maybe that's not all that good. But if you look long-term at the curve, it may be starting out like this, but then it always has that curve going up. And that's when I know that my channel will work for me in months, years to come, won't publish any new content. And that's very, very specific, because I create videos that are very optimized for search. And so my channel will work for me. And that's what you want at the end of the day. You will probably disappear from the face of the earth. I know that my videos will still be helping other people.
That's amazing perspective. And I love that explanation of like watching the analytics. I think analytics are kind of a scary thing whenever you're new, because you feel like you don't want to see, maybe it's just overwhelming, but looking there for a sense of encouragement and, as a kind of a compass if things are working or not. And I'm curious to know if there were any specific milestones for you that were kind of like, propellers forward, like a certain follower count, or subscriber count, or video count, or just a moment where you thought it's working, kind of those like aha moments along the journey. Did you have anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. I remember like especially like when I got my first 100 subscribers, when I got my first 500 subscribers. I even remember where I was when I got my first 1,000 subscribers. And I can remember how happy I was. I was like, this is absolutely amazing. And then it's funny because it starts with like 100, 500, 1,000. Then I remember exactly also where I was when I hit 10,000, 5,000 and 10,000. And also going back when I was monetized for the first time, those first like $2 that I got in a day, I think were like the happiest $2 I ever got in my life. Because it's just such a huge accomplishment. Like you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in the past year in order to be monetized on YouTube. And so many people give up before reaching that milestone because it's not fast, it's not easy, and you need to put up so much content in order to reach those. And you're like, I'm just working here, sharing things for hours and hours on end, putting so many hours of work. And I'm like, is this actually worth it? But when I got those $2, I was like, yes, all of this was 100% worth it. Not only in terms of money, but also in terms of reaching more people, because YouTube is basically like a snowball effect. Getting those first 50 subscribers seems almost impossible. Then you're like, whoa, I got to 100. Then you're like, whoa, I got to 500. And it seems like growing after, and eventually just gets easier and easier because the more people watch your videos, the more YouTube recommends those videos to other people. And so more eyeballs you get, then the more subscribers you get, and it just keeps growing and growing.
Oh, wow. I think that feels a little bit different from other types of online marketing. Like blogging, writing more does not mean that you will have more success, because people might watch, read one blog post and never come back again, and they can, that could be it. But I feel like YouTube, it really captures better. And that algorithm seems like it doesn't feel like it's impossible to break through as a beginner, that you can publish a video and still have it at the top of search, even if you're not really old in your account and don't have tons of videos. I'd love if you would paint a little picture for us of starting your channel to being monetized, and not just the timeline, but I'd love if you would touch on like the effort that went in. I think people always want to know that something will be free. And I've talked to people many times about blogging. You have to pay with something. You're going to pay with your time. You're going to pay with a lot of work, a lot of like sweat equity. You're going to pay somehow. And I'd love if you would kind of touch on that. Like, what did you pay into your YouTube journey before it monetarily paid you?
Love that question. I feel like when I actually started posting videos on YouTube, my intention wasn't to become a YouTuber. I was actually complementing the content that I was posting on my blog. So it's like, oh, maybe if I show people how to do this rather than just write about it, it'll be easier. So I think I started around 2017, 2018, sharing those pieces of content over on my blog and then like complementing it with YouTube videos. And it took me basically a year of just posting that until, I should actually just transform things and be like, maybe blogging isn't right for me. Maybe it's so hard to grow, as you mentioned, as a blogger, because writing more doesn't mean you're earning more or you're getting more eyeballs on your content, because there's so much more that goes into it. Whereas on YouTube, as you mentioned, yes, even if you're small, even if you're just starting out, if your video is better than someone who has a channel with millions of subscribers and more people are watching your video when searching for something, you will be ranked number one rather than other person. So I was like, okay, maybe around, I think it was 2018, 2019, where I was like, I'm going to try this out. I'm going to learn how to use iMovie, learn how to record my screen, learn how to record my face and all of that, and actually start posting videos on YouTube instead of posting them only on my blog. Actually, to this day, I post not only I post a video on YouTube, but I also post complimentary content over on my blog.
That's another snowball effect.
Once I decided to do that, exactly. Absolutely. So it took me more or less a year and a half of posting these videos. I just posted at the time 1 new video a week rather than 2, because I'm like, I'm just starting this out. It takes me forever to script a video, record, edit, create all the graphics and all of that. I was like, I'd rather do just 1 good video a week rather than sell myself short and create a bunch of content which I'm not happy with. And after that 1.5 years, I think it was in around August 2019, I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. And it still took me a few more months until around mid-November 2019 in order to hit that 4,000 hours of watch time to be monetized. So maybe it took me around 1.5 years of posting one video every single week and doing all of this for free until I actually became monetized on YouTube.
That's a big commitment. I think that we can all agree that 1.5 years is not that long, but 1.5 years of showing up, and that's work. I mean, how many days, if you could guess, did it take you to just to really paint like an honest picture? Like if you posted a video, let's say every Friday, did you work on it for like one day? Did you maybe spend 4 days kind of dabbling, working on it? How many days, if you could just guess, did it take you to produce a video?
Well, if I'd say right now, it takes me around 4 hours to produce a video. I'd say it take me at the very least twice or 3 times as much when it was starting out, because everything is new. Everything takes such a long time. So I feel like it would take, for me to create a video, it would take me 1 to 2 days. Whereas now for me to create a video, it takes me basically half a day of work from beginning to end. So that's the other thing. The more you do something, the easier it becomes. So after a while, it's like, why am I just posting one video a week if I can post more and still maintain the same quality? And that's something that stops a lot of people. They just think, if I'm going to do this, I need to go all out. They need to do it big or else it's not worth it. But the thing is, it is worth it. Even if you're just posting one video a week, if you're posting one video every other week, if you're posting one video a month, that one video that you're posting is better than nothing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And did you struggle to stick with it during that time? Like, did you think about quitting? Maybe not like really thinking about if you should, but did you kind of think like, I don't know, daydream about giving up and not worrying about it? That sounds so silly, but I think in the beginning, whenever you're desperate to see something work, you think, oh, it needs to work, or like, put me out of my misery, you know, just quit doing it, give up. Did you struggle with that?
I feel like my perspective was like the other way around. Like I would daydream not of giving up, but I would daydream of like, when will all of this finally pay off? Like I just want to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark and 4,000 hours of watch time. Like, how can I speed up this process? Because you're just taking forever to create content because everything is new, everything is hard. And you're like, when will this pay off? And it was like, I just want to keep at it because I just want to see that 1000 on my screen. And I literally remember to this day, like I was having dinner with my parents and I saw that 1,000 numbers, like, oh my gosh, like we were out and I just screamed because I was like so happy because it's just like such a huge accomplishment.
And did your parents or your husband, did they kind of get the YouTube thing? Were they maybe not supportive, but did they have like enthusiasm? Did they know what it meant to get 1,000 subscribers, or were they just, what was that like?
Well, my whole family, like they all work in different sectors, nothing related to online business. And they're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you putting your face? Like that was one of their biggest worries. Like you're sharing your face, you're sharing your space with people who you've never seen before. Like, is this worth it? And I was like, yes, like it's what I want to do. And as we were talking about earlier, even if I can help just one person, it'll make a huge difference. And I feel like they probably don't understand what gaining 1,000 subscribers means in the whole context of things. Like people who are in this space understand, but I think if you just saw my face, I feel like you'd completely understand how huge that was for me. Like even the same way when I got my first paycheck from YouTube, like that was such a huge accomplishment. I was like, wow, all of those hours, all of this time, all of this energy I put into this is actually having a return, not only in terms of helping other people, but also in transforming what theoretically was a hobby into an actual business.
And that is something that everybody understands. If they don't, if somebody doesn't understand what success means as a blogger or any content creator, everybody, for better or worse, sees you making money as success. So maybe we can dive into that a little bit. I think that's one of the big questions on everybody's mind is, what was the financial journey like? Maybe that first paycheck, and then what's normal for you now, or maybe in 2021, since we just finished that year? You know, what was like a standard over the course of a year?
I actually thought that my first paycheck would be way lower than what it actually was. And it actually surprised me how high it was. And I feel like that really depends on the YouTuber and what kind of content you put out. Because I remember, I think the first day I made $2 and something. And I actually got my first paycheck that first month when I was monetized. I believe I was monetized around the 10th of November. And by the end of that month, I had made over $100, which is surprising because I was talking to other people sometimes who make like $4, $5 their very first month since being monetized. And on YouTube, you can't cash out until you reach that $100 mark. So even though it was only 20 days, I still was able to cash out. And I was actually talking to a friend the other day, like literally that first couple of months, I made $650, I think between November and December of 2019 when I was first monetized, which is huge for someone just starting out with around 1,000 subscribers. And if we fast forward to last year, to 2021, it really varied throughout the months, which is also something that people need to see, that like it's not because you're earning a certain amount that you'll continue earning that amount throughout the whole year, because your CPM, which is your cost for 1,000 views, varies greatly. So actually in January of 2021 was the month in which I made the most money throughout the whole year, and it was around $3,000. And my worst month in 2021 was around June, July, which is the summer in the Northern Hemisphere, where there are so many more people. They're like, I don't want to watch YouTube videos. They're out doing stuff and having fun. And that was around $1,000. So even in the span of 1 year, I made anywhere between $1,000 and $3,000. So if you think about it, you need to really plan out your business expenses and how things are going. Because if I was just going to sit back and think, well, in January I made $3,000 and things are only going to go uphill from here, I would have been in a terrible place. But things are just moving up and down all the time.
That perspective is so good and so important for beginners. And thank you for sharing those numbers as well. Why don't we round this out with one more question? What would you do differently in hindsight? What advice would you give to beginning YouTube Marina to encourage her to grow and help her do it maybe faster, or just the mindset? What would you say?
That's such an important thing to ask, especially for someone just starting out. If I were to start a YouTube channel all over again, I wouldn't just focus on content that ranks highly in search, because even though you can be found, it can be a little bit demotivating if you're just starting out and you're seeing just a little bit of views in those first 24, 48 hours, or even a week, month, or anything to come. If I were just going back and starting all over again, I'd sprinkle in not only those highly searchable SEO optimized videos, but also videos that people are in demand or searching for right now, like videos that have this demand to go viral in a short amount of time. Because if you're having this mixture of both videos that people are searching for and videos that people need to watch like this very second because a new feature just came out or something new just popped up, like you will be found so much faster. And this mixture of content that's searchable and content that's in demand will help you grow so much faster, because people are finding you in the short term, but there's also a way for people to find you in the long term.
Oh, that's such a good piece of advice. And I haven't heard that from other people. So this is I've been doing some research on YouTube myself, and that's a nugget of gold right there. I said that was our last question, but actually I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the tech side of YouTube. Do you have any resources that you share on your channel, or any advice for people who are brand new? I think most people would probably be shooting on their phones, perhaps. They're not investing. Do you have any resources on that topic, or any advice?
Yes, I do. I have both. So I actually have an entire YouTube videos and tutorials playlist, which you can check out where I have showing you exactly like how to edit a movie, how to record a movie, and all of that, including the tools I use. And the other thing, that piece of advice, is basically something we touched upon earlier, which is just get started. Right this second, I'm not even using a professional camera. I'm using the camera that comes on my computer, and I have a ring light in front of me. But when I started out, I didn't even have a ring light. I didn't have anything. I was using just my laptop, using editing software that came with my computer. I was using iMovie, which is still what I use to this day, QuickTime, which also comes with a computer for free. So it's not like you need fancy software or anything just to get started. Even if you want to use your phone camera, like that's probably better than the camera that comes with your computer. And as your channel grows, that's when you reinvest back into your channel. When I was starting out, I didn't have any outside or extra equipment. And just when my channel started making more money, I was like, okay, maybe now I can get a professional camera. Maybe now I can invest in a ring light. And just this past year, I decided to get a teleprompter because it's like I spend so much time recording videos also with my face. Since I script them, it will make the process so much faster if I can actually read what I scripted than having to memorize and then record and re-record, cut things out. And when I tested that out, I was like, wow, that's just amazing, because now I can record my intros and outros in half the time and invest so much less energy into that because I'm not memorizing anything and having to edit things out. So just start small, start with what you already have. And as you grow, as you gain the resources, then that's when you can reinvest back into your channel to create things that will make the video quality better and to make your life easier when you're recording or editing.
Wow. That's really interesting about the teleprompter. All the advice was so interesting, but you travel, correct? You and your husband are digital nomads or remote workers, and you travel between continents often, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you travel with this equipment. Wow. I would love to see a packing list or something from you because...
yes, because everything is so small. Like I get things that are small, but that actually pack the results. Like I'm just going to get here my ring light. If you take a look at it,
oh my gosh, I thought those were huge.
And then you can just remove this and just pack everything up. And the best part is that it connects to the USB port in your computer. So it's not like I need anything huge or fancy. And in terms of the teleprompter, it's also pretty tiny. It's this size. You can literally just clip it into your port of front of your computer and the camera, and you're good to go. So it doesn't mean that you need those huge ring lights, huge teleprompter, huge microphone, or anything like that. There is so much out there that you can get something that's small, portable, and take it anywhere you go.
Oh, that's so refreshing, because I've been watching a lot of the behind the scenes of how YouTubers film, and it shocks me. I live in a studio apartment, and my husband and I also work remotely a lot from different countries. And I just can't imagine the lights people have. And I'm really glad you showed us your setup and showed that it can be compact. It doesn't have to be so over the top. And that was such a cute little ring light. It was I always thought they were massive. This was really insightful.
Super small, super portable, and it's super easy because it connects to literally your computer. So you don't need any special ports. If you're traveling, you need adapters and all of that. And if you have something that plugs in with your computer, you're basically good to go anywhere you go.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. You shared so many amazing tips here today. This is going to be so valuable for viewers. Why don't you tell people where to go to find more content? Obviously your channel, but is there any other recommendations? Do you have any products that you want to share, or courses, or anything?
Thank you so much. So basically, as long as you search Yes chances are you'll find me everywhere. My website is Yes to Tech. My channel is also Yes to Tech. I'm Yes to Tech all over social media. And I also have a number of online courses specifically for beginners, be it on creating a website, on doing all of your branding, on gaining traffic, on creating webinars. So if you want to learn more than step-by-step on all of that, just head over to yes2tech.teachable.com and you'll be good to go.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Marina. And I hope everybody goes and follows, and everybody talk later. Thanks for watching. Marina is an absolute gem, both to have on the channel and listen to, but also her channel is, like she said, an encyclopedia of resources. So I really recommend going and checking it out. And if you haven't been around the channel yet here before, I've been documenting my journey to making $1,000 a month passive income as a total beginner. And this video was a chance for us to get some of those questions answered, scratch some of those itches, and hear from someone who's done it successfully. If you want to hear interviews with anyone else, just drop in the comments what you'd like to hear. Do you want to hear an interview with someone who has sold templates, online courses, checklists? Tell me in the comments and I will see who I can find. And if you're watching this and you're making money online passively and you want to talk to some newbies who are trying to figure it out for themselves, drop a comment and let's see if we can make another interview happen. And if you like this kind of interview content in general, but you don't have any ideas, I'd love a thumbs up just to know that I should keep making this kind of content. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.